Hello everyone, welcome to the crochet life of Sophie. I'm Sophie. In today's tutorial I'll be using 2 strands of t-shirt yarn, a 15mm crochet hook, some stitch markers, scissors and a tapestry needle. To get started, I'll start off by making a slip knot. Adjust my loop, take my crochet hook. I'm gonna start off by making a chain of 12. I have made a chain of 12. I'm going to skip the first chain and make a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. I'm going to continue making single crochets in each and every chain across. I'm about to work the last single crochet. I'm done working on the first row. I've worked single crochets in each and every chain across. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work and make a single crochet in each and every stitch across. The second row is done. I'm going to make a chain 1 and turn my work. I'm going to make a single crochet in each and every stitch across. I'm about to work the last single crochet in the last stitch, and I'm not going to chain 1. I have made a total of 3 rows of single crochets. This will be the base of the bag. After working the last single crochet, I did make a chain 1. What I'm going to do now is to make single crochets on the side stitches. I'm gonna start off by this one. I will stretch it out first and then make a single crochet. And the next one will be this one for me. I'm going to make a single crochet here. I've got this yarn tail. You can choose to crochet it as you go or leave it for later on. I'll be crocheting mine as I go. What I'm gonna do is to make single crochets in each and every stitch on the opposite side of the base until I get here. I'm about to work on this last single crochet on the opposite side. I've worked single crochets on the opposite side of the base. I'm going to make single crochets once again on the side bumpy stitches. I'll insert mine here. I'll work another one here. I'm gonna work the last single crochet here. After working the last single crochet, I'm going to take a stitch marker and place it here in order to mark the beginning / the end of the row, as I won't be slip stitching and making a chain of 1. After placing a stitch marker where we last worked our single crochets, I'm going to make single crochets in the back loop of each and every stitch across until I get to where the stitch marker is. I've made a single crochet in the back loop. I'm going to continue to make single crochets back loops in each and every stitch until I get to where the stitch marker is. This is what it's looking like so far after working single crochets in the back loop. I'm about to remove my stitch marker and make a single crochet in the back loop in the same stitch and then place back the stitch marker. The first round of single crochets in the back loop is now complete. What I'm going to do now is to make single crochets in both loops in each and every stitch across until I get to the stitch marker. Now I've gotten to where the stitch marker is. I'm going to remove it, make a single crochet in both loops, and place it back. I'm gonna continue to make single crochets in each and every stitch across, and when I get to where the stitch marker is, I'm going to remove it, work a single crochet, and then place back the stitch marker and continue to make single crochets in each and every stitch across. Now I'm where the stitch marker is. I'm going to remove it, work a single crochet, and place it back. After placing back the stitch marker, I'm going to continue to work single crochets in each and every stitch across until I am happy with the height of the bag. This is what the bag is looking like so far, and I've crocheted till almost where the stitch marker is. I just ended off on the stitch before where the stitch marker is. I'm gonna lay my bag as flat as possible. What I'm gonna do is to find the middle stitch, which is this one. I'll be counting from here. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. That's where I'm gonna place a stitch marker. Basically what you do on this side is what you do on this side. You can just compare. What I do is, since I've placed a stitch marker here in the 4th stitch from the side stitch, I'm also going to do the same thing, counting from this side stitch 1 2 3 4, and place a stitch marker. Basically it is 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. And I'm also going to do the same on the other side. That's where the stitch marker is. I'm going to remove it and count 4 stitches. 1 2 3 4. Place a stitch marker here. After placing a stitch marker, since I counted from where we ended off, I'm also going to count 4 stitches on the opposite side. 1 2 3 4. So this is what I did. This is where I'll be crocheting and then making a chain, and then I crochet and make a chain. From now here, I'll be single crocheting until this stitch marker. And before we go on, what I'm gonna do is quickly swap the stitch marker there and put it here. And then I'm gonna place this one right here. I'm gonna continue making single crochets until I get to where the stitch marker is. Where the stitch marker is, I'm going to remove it, make a single crochet, I've tried to make it as tight as possible. You can choose to place the stitch marker back or not. I'm gonna make a chain of 7 or 8 or even 9. I've made a chain of 7. I'm going to attach where the stitch marker is with a single crochet. And I'm gonna make this as tight as possible. After doing that, I'm going to single crochet until I get to where the stitch marker is. I'm now where the stitch marker is. I'm going to remove it and make a single crochet. I've made a really tight single crochet where the stitch marker was. I'm going to make a chain of 7 like I did on the opposite side. I've made a chain of 7. I'm going to attach it to where the stitch marker is. And I'm going to crochet not necessarily to where the stitch marker is, but when I get to where the stitch marker is, I'm going to make a single crochet. I'm going to remove the stitch marker, make a single crochet, and place it back. What I am gonna do now, after making a single crochet with the stitch marker, is I'm gonna slip stitch in each and every stitch across until I get to where the stitch marker is. I'm gonna continue making slip stitches in the chain space. I'm gonna continue to slip stitch in each and every chain. Now I'm left with a stitch that has a stitch marker in it. I'm going to remove it and make a slip stitch. And also make a slip stitch in the next stitch. And chain one. After making a chain one to secure your work, leave enough tail to weave in and then cut it off. I'm gonna pull through my yarn and make it tight. When it comes to weaving in my ends, I use a tapestry needle and I weave in one yarn at a time. If you are not sure on how to weave in your ends, please simply watch how I do it, and then you could try to do the same thing. There really isn't the right or wrong way to do it. Just insert my needle where it can fit. And when you are done, you can cut off your yarn. And this is what the bag looks like.